What it be? What it do? It's Tony the Dude and Lil.
Here.
Back at it again. Hello and welcome. Lil, how we doing?
I'm vibing.
We vibing. It's been a minute. And we back at it again with another Monday session. How you feeling about that?
We doing another back-to-back
We doing a back-to-back session with the two partners of Team Jaeger, Alicia and Jade. Shit is getting real. And well, let's talk about it. Shit has gone down the last couple weeks since the beginning of our team. Let's bring us in real quick. Shebang. Hello. We're here. We're here. We made it. Now, Lil, literally, so much has happened to our characters.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Because
oh my god.
We went from not knowing each other, meeting for the first time.
Yep. To now they're like probably the closest duo on
And we're in the fight of our lives right now.
Yeah.
Kinda, you know, we got some shit going on, some big bads out there being mean.
And yeah, there's definitely that. There's definitely probably even some of the small bads that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
AKA the White Fang. AKA the White Fang.
Them assholes. Always trying to
Glacia still has the vendetta that she wants Adam dead.
Yeah. I don't think she's trying to give him much mercy these days. And he showed up last week.
Yeah.
To which we'll get a bit of a rewind of that scenario and kind of a reimagining.
The full four of us.
The whole Gascoigne.
It was really it was like Gascoigne wasn't really there because he had to go right before, and the conversation kind of just got really confusing to everyone.
Yeah. So.
But we won't really reiterate that. We'll just get back into it when we get there.
Yeah. So Lil, I welcome you into today's session titled "Today is the day," or the day we've waited for.
The day we waited for.
Okay. It's gonna be
not the song line from Rainbow.
Not the song line. That's crazy. Who would have figured that?
The song line from this be the day.
That's crazy. No.
Nah, not law.
Not at all. You guys are crazy.
No,
why would I ever do something like that to you guys? You know, that's just so. I would never put you guys in any kind of danger and sadness.
You sure about that one?
And regrets.
Yeah, you sure about that?
And more sadness.
That? You know that for a fact, Tony?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why would I?
That don't sound too convincing.
I don't know, man.
That don't sound too convincing.
Well, welcome back to Jaeger, DnD campaign. I am your host and Dungeon Master, TonyTheDudeTV. And for those of you who are new, this is Team Jaeger. Jaeger is a RWBY-based D&D campaign. Shit. Yeah, right? Jaeger is a RWBY-based D&D campaign set on an alternate timeline in the world of Remnant. And I am the creator of this world, and I control everything. To the wildlife in the forest, to the winds in the air, bustling winds, to the monsters and villains in this world. This is the story of Jaeger. And this week I present to you Lilith Verillith, Glacia Shanshni.
Hello. It's
royalty of Menagerie.
Well, right, it's just me today, or tonight, I should say.
The Monday duo session.
Yeah, as these really are probably gonna get a lot more common.
Oh yeah.
Because it seems like we have a lot more ideas that we can bounce off of each other when we're just together with just us two.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to D&D, at least.
And it helps for getting different lore ideas and stuff in the picture.
Yeah, like
told.
I'll say it. So I was talking to me as your Tony about it. That we might start actually doing like flashback stuff because we like going into each character's like kind of like backstory. Like for example, like we might do something like Glacia is like her old like way back in when she was in, like way back in, like a few years ago when she was with the White Fang, doing missions and all. We might do that, or like we might go ahead and do like you might not see me one day and it might be like Avery, or it might be Gascoigne, like just so we know like we can get more backstory for each character.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's gonna be cool, and
I have good ideas. I'm smart.
it's really, it establishes the lore of our campaign and story, and
It
it's just that
establishes
much
what's
closer
going
to
on.
like just this nice little canon we've got. It's nice. It's a fun little canon. Different stories and characters.
And also, Tony, I think I'm gonna I may or may not have I kind of aged Glacia up just because it makes more. We didn't when I first now I'm like I went back and thought about it because her original age didn't make any sense.
Hmm.
Because initially I was making her younger than Ruby was when she like by a far margin when Ruby first joined. But like I'm like since we're restarting for like that was how it was when we first started playing like the Artemis side of things, like when we started in year 4.
Yeah.
Because it made more sense. Now realizing going back and doing the first year, it kind of doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because if she's dating Ilya, Ilya's like an adult, and she wouldn't have been. But
Oh, yeah.
now she technically she's only a few years younger than Ilya. She's maybe like 2 or 3 years younger. I think Ilya's like 18 or 17, and she's like 16 or like 15. I think I had her.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, without further ado, I'll just get into this session of tonight's RWBY Jaeger D&D campaign. Fellas, previously on Jaeger, episode 416. Okay? Episode 16. Previously in episode 16. After another encounter with the musical god of tunes, Gascoigne Sevenfold, also known as Mixer, in a match of no use, the two fought vigorously against one another. When their alliance was realized, they worked together to operate the manual controls of the transformation system. But they soon find themselves dealing with a new threat, the White Fang. Now Jaeger has to overcome their past in order to save the future. There's only one girl fast enough to save them. Join us on the sprawling episode of Jaeger, episode 16, the day we've waited for. Enter! Speeding in a speedy fury of furiness and stuff. Lots of fury. Lots of speediness. It's Jade Rose. The speedster herself, okay? She is in a fierce race, okay? She's been running, speeding throughout the system, up and down, nothing holding her back. No restraints, trying to find a way to map the system out in time for her friends when a blur of red, no, not a blur of red, zooms by her, almost like she wooshes past her, almost in like a fast like strafe up the wall and back down, generating enough speed, punching Jade. When she swoops back around, she flips her off of her feet and sending her into the ground with a stomach punch as she crashes through a deep hole beneath the floor of the tunnel system. Now I'm going to bring us back into the campaign real quick. It's the ending screen.
That's the ending screen.
It's not ending yet.
Well, everyone, it's over.
Well, it's great knowing y'all. Everything's great. And here we are. You see Reverse Jade, and you see the Jade. 2 different Jades, mind you, okay? We have to make a very clear distinction that these 2 Jades are 2 different Jades. Does that make sense? Does everyone get that?
It does.
Alright, Pin. So, when she punches her, you see this floor grate right here? She almost flips her into a full-on front flip before she lands facing upward as she is punched downward into the tunnel through the grate. Almost 100 feet below floor level, she arrives face down in a puddle. Not you again. She gets up as the Reverse Jade is standing there menacingly. Menacingly.
He's just standing there, menacingly. I hate how well I can do that.
Hello, Jade. It's good to see you again.
Not you again.
I don't want to fight you, Jade.
You lie. She readies her weapon. Remember her double-bladed staff that we built?
Spear, her like
we built all that time ago. It's time for her to finally put them to the test, okay? She unleashes her weapon and fights, dealing swift and elegant, speedy movements, jabbing in any which direction. But the reverse Jade uses her superior speed to dodge and weave just as elegantly as if she had already known her moveset, as if she downloaded the information, literally. She then grabs her sword, and they hold it tight, and they pull in a violent struggle between the two, fighting over the weapon, before the reverse Jade uses her vibrating hand to cut through her staff, and almost pushing her down. She actually, more or less, throws herself into a tackle, where they're full-blown rolling down the tunnel, until they crash into this room. Bring us in. Ugh. Their speed, pulling them at almost at Mach 2. As they are pulled, they are crashing through a glass case in this large room. Hang on.
There's another chain bug.
They crash through this ginormous glass enclosure inside this room, and as they crash, you almost see Jade staggers for a moment as the shards of glass kind of like stick to her, and you see the reverse Jade slowly start to walk up to her, and she kicks something into Jade's hand, almost forcing an object into her hand. As Jade recovers, she sees the reverse Jade almost like glitching in and out, and she pushes that object into her hand. She like grabs her by the shirt and pins her against the wall.
Come on, put some iron in your mouth and pull the fucking trigger, because that's what you'll do if you don't listen to me.
Talk.
See this? It's yours now. It's bound to you. The day we've waited for has come.
What day?
The day we meet for the very first time. The day you create me.
So what? Is this all part of your twisted plan to kill me? Because it's not gonna work.
No, because this time, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it the right way. For both of us. I'm tired of feeling unbalanced.
She suddenly depowers herself. Yeah. Okay. I can do that, yeah. The reverse Jade smiles as this time around she means what she says. She doesn't want to fight Jade this time. In fact, she's trying to ensure that when the reverse Jade is created in this time, that they don't end up villains the same way they did in the past. As reverse Jade fades away, and Jade is left with the pieces of her broken sword, but a gift from a friend. Inside the glass enclosure that they crashed through, reverse Jade shoved an ancient weapon into her hand, one that has now bound to her, and only she can hear its voice, hear its call, and activate it on a whim. The sword is not just any sword, but an ancient energy blade. She hears a voice in her head from young, very tiny young Jade, and you actually see her in the room. She says, "What will you call it?" She looks at the new weapon, thinking of possible ways she could even involve her old weapon, her staff, into it. She sat into her old weapon instead, but this new one she calls her Darling. And that's where the name Darling comes from for her sword. I have to find them. Now I just gotta figure out how to get out of this stinky tunnel.
She's like, now I just gotta figure out where the fuck I am.
She speeds off. End scene. We then go back to the Straits of Mistral as chaos ensues. Hang on, it's not supposed to be day. There we
It's
go.
supposed to be nighttime.
With red skies, evil red skies. Matter of fact, these are all mostly... Actually, they're all accurate, yeah. Here we go. Except these guys. You go away. So... Lilith, are you ready for
I am.
your surprise of this session?
I am as ready as I will be.
We enter the scene as we focus in on Raven Bronwyn amidst the destruction of Mistral, the combat and the chaos. She stands and commands her bandits through the battle, helping the fellow huntsmen, trying to make a good name for the bandits and the Bronwyn tribe. She says, well, I know my daughter, she's in this mess somewhere. Amy, will you be a dear and help a worried mother?
You kind of see she's kind of like, she's like, you know, Raven, when I said I would help you, I didn't mean every time you called me.
Well, you're needed.
You know Ironwood would kill me.
I'm gonna use Blake's model, is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
You kind of see her like walk up. Mind, she has heels on, which people question her all the time how she fights in heels, which she does. She does.
It's
she's
a combat skirt.
She's like, you do realize that Ironwood would probably have my head for helping you, right?
Well, what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
You're not wrong.
Plus, he lets this kind of stuff slide all the time. Mostly.
Yeah, because it's me, and because I can basically tell him what to do.
Good. Raven hands you a guide. Use this amulet. Her light will guide you to her. Please.
She's like, I also have another way I can probably do this. I'll follow it though. You kind of see her like.
Trust the amulet. It's a
she's like,
gift from a friend who's long gone.
You know, you're always very secretive, but so am I. Who cares?
You'll understand soon enough.
She like trusts me. I'll bring her back.
Please.
I don't die while trying.
The princess will be here soon.
Okay, okay. She kind of like puts her hands up. She's like, I got it. You kind of see her jump down. Is she on like a roof or is she on the street?
We're on a rooftop.
You kind of see her like jump down off the roof, and you kind of see when she lands, she kind of little like mini like roses, like pink roses, kind of pop out right where she lands.
Mm-hmm.
So her semblance is, she has nature control and she has basically a sweet scent. So what her plants, she can create a plant that can charm anybody that it comes in contact with, or like smells the roses.
Okay, so it's like a red, like it's literally like a red like roses.
Kind of, but it's not like as like, you know how like Ruby can like change into the petals and go. It's not like that. It's like she literally can control and make roses if she wants to.
Oh, okay. So she can make roses.
She's a nature gal.
Gotcha.
So you kind of see she's like, you know, people don't realize that there are plants everywhere. Kind of see her like, kind of crouch down, put her hand on the ground, and I actually need to make a fucking sheet for her. I didn't do that. I'm going to do that really quickly.
Okay.
Since she's with Atlas, would she be a higher level than us, or would she be same level?
I would say, depending on what, maybe is she? Well, she would be, I guess, with Locke's year, and Locke is.
Yeah, so she.
Okay.
I think she'd be a higher level, correct?
Well, because Locke is, I guess, because in this timeline I've made it so that, although Locke is like a high, like he's pretty up there in the military, he's still a year one at Atlas because Team Artemis is a year one.
Yeah.
Or Team Artemis. Team Jaeger is a year one.
Team Jaeger.
So I would say year one, maybe like one rank higher because it's Atlas. Maybe one or two.
So level 9 instead of level 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me I'm really excited to play as her because I finally get to choose one of the classes that I've been dying to do, and that's be a fucking druid.
Right.
I've been dying to be a druid. I'm sorry, this might take a minute. I'm trying.
No, you're fine.
To choose everything. I probably should have thought about this beforehand. So 9. Efficiency.
Do you do anything while you're in the process of things?
So, if you don't mind me really quickly using Glacia's sheet to roll perception, because I just have to make her.
Sure, you can roll perception on.
Because basically, what she's doing is she's using what's the soil and like the dirt in the ground that's kind of turning them into plants that she can kind of get a better sense of the area.
Yeah.
Let me go pull up Glacia's sheet really quickly, so I can use her perception. All right, roll me a perception, please.
All right. You can roll one on your dice.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. All right. That was a fucking nat 20.
All right.
I'm not even here. Look, I'll even show you. That was a nat 20.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. So,
Alright.
what does she see with underground? Since she's that's what she's going for.
So you're going underground?
She's using part of her, since she's attuned with nature to a heavy degree. What she's doing is she's using like the dirt and the soil, like the soil underneath like the rock and gravel that's on the streets and like on the sidewalk. She's using the dirt to see underneath of it.
Okay, if, so you have like a passive perception underneath okay. So
she's trying to see if she can find any like tunnels that don't match up with that are like underneath the ground in a sense.
When you look underneath the ground, you start to see a complex set of interchangeable tunnel systems. You see them almost in like a spread of just scattered puzzle pieces.
She's like, huh, that is interesting.
And
let's find out how to get there.
Would you like to make another perception?
Yes.
Or actually, matter of fact, you don't really have to because it's right there. Like, well. Ugh.
Shit, what? Why does it say 87 mil? What the fuck? Okay, sorry, I'm ATM trips. Oh. Sorry, I feel like it's taking a lot longer.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Because I'm also choosing spells that I'm having her use. So.
Back the soundtrack up a bit. You want me to cut to a different scene while you're doing that, or?
Yeah, please. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
For a little bit.
I can get something more crazier going. So.
Yeah, please.
On the other side of town. Oh, here we go. Perfect. You almost see blasting out of the tunnel system. Where is it? Where is she? Where are you? You see Jade Rose blasting out of the tunnel system, having finally found some sort of exit back to the surface level. She lands and does a superhero pose. Gross. And she just slams the door shut. And she's
Just
like,
slams the fucking thing back on the.
she's like, I knew it. It was never underground. It was in plain freaking sight. And you see, she sees on this kind of empty road, scattered bodies everywhere, leading up to these almost like this crystallized entrance to essentially another side of the tunnel and cave entrances. She notices bodies of all different factions: Crown, White Fang, even Spider Gang, and a couple of huntsmen. No. That's it. I'm going in there, and I'm gonna save everyone. I know I'm fast enough. I'm doing this. She almost gets in like a ready stance, and she takes off, directly charging at the cave entrance.
Okay.
And we cut back to you.
Yes, you can, because I am just about finished.
All right.
All right. Let me pull up the sheet. Alrighty. You're all set. So, I'm gonna use one thing. So where was I again? I'm sorry. I'm back in.
You're in this alleyway.
So what did she roll with her perception? I wanted to double check.
You rolled a nat 20 for perception.
Okay, so I saw the cave system on the ground, right?
Yes.
Did I find the entrance to said thing?
You saw the door to the sewer system is right here. Like a
Okay,
entrance
so
way.
I'm going to go towards said thing.
Okay.
I'm going to go towards it.
You slowly approach the system, or the door, I should say. Hang on.
So wait, the amulet tracks Jade, correct?
It glows brighter and brighter the more it's more of like a compass. It gets brighter when you get closer to her. But when you open this door to the sewer system, you see kind of hiding on the inside, you see a small child who took refuge here, kind of hiding out. She's like,
Well, hello there.
Hi, is it okay to come
What are
out
you
now?
doing here? Trust me, I'm right here. It'll be fine.
Make another perception check.
This time I can use her sheet. 17.
The first thing you notice about her is that she has silver eyes.
She's like, oh. Now, so part of her hair covers her she has hair covering her other eyes, so people don't know she has
Just
a
like
silver eye.
that.
Yeah, pretty much, kind of. Pretty much. So she's like, let me tell you a little secret. You see her kind of take her hair and move it out of her eye. She's like, you might have both, but we're still one and the same if you think about it.
I'm trying to. Here we go. Well.
But listen
Wow,
to me.
she's
we
looking
gotta
at-
get you out of here.
Yeah, I don't exactly have anywhere to go.
Here, how about this? I'm gonna take you to someone who I was staying with, and she'll find the way for you to get out of here. Okay?
Okay.
She might seem scary at first.
She should.
I promise.
Oh, okay.
You kind of see her grab her hand. She's like, "Come on." And mind you, since Raven's literally on the roof, it's like right there after she jumped down. You see her walk out of the alleyway. She's like, "Raven!"
And you hear her like fighting up on top of the rooftop. She's like, "What do you want?"
We've got a problem.
What?
We have another child here. What do you want me to do? We need to figure something out.
You know, I quit parenting for a reason, right?
You have two children that you vanished on, and took care of another one.
Yeah, and I it wasn't my first choice, but
And why did you do it?
I made a promise, and you know what? I changed things around, and now you're bringing me more children.
You don't even have to take care of her. Just make sure she doesn't get hurt. I'm going to find your child that you took care of.
Little one, have you ever held a crossbow? Wow, what's a...
Give her a weapon! What are you doing?
We're in the middle of a war zone.
Yeah, and this is a child!
I don't see your point. I held a crossbow twice the size of this one back when I was even younger than she was.
You were a bandit when you were a child!
And she'll be a bandit growing up. So again, I don't really see... Your argument is falling kind of flat.
You know what? As long as she's safe, I don't care. I'm gonna go find your child that you want me to find. That you don't have the time to go find.
Thank you. Toodles.
Shut up. As she drops back down.
She'll be fine. Probably. And you see the...
She's like, fuck it, she wants you to go find her child. Doesn't want to...
Door closes. And you've entered the sewer systems.
Alright. Dropping down to sewer systems.
Enter. Goliath's hideout. The hideout of the monster. We need to change this. This whole setting is changing now. This whole set. Change the set. Change the set, damn it. You see, inside this cave, this almost like it's an evil lair of the Goliath. It has been discovered by Jade Rose as she is seen blasting her way through the crystallized entrance, flying in at a solid Mach 2. She flies in at super speed thinking she's hot shit. But suddenly, as she's flying in, she's near centimeters away from punching the Goliath, the evil villain, at Mach 2, when suddenly, she's frozen. Wait, wait for the music to stop. Okay. Well. Jade Rose. I wondered when you'd finally show up. Fellas, we're in some deep territory, okay? Let's break it down. The room is instantly quiet as the Goliath turns his back. He reaches out as he's wearing the crown. And Jade is being held up almost by some sort of maleficent force. His fierce presence strikes fear into the hearts of any person who looks directly at him. The Goliath is also known as the Great Destroyer, okay? He is a notable and powerful and influential crime lord who operates primarily in the Mistral underworld. And Goliath is known for, well, his massive physical physique. As you can tell on screen, this guy is fucking massive. He's a ginormous bear man with a fucking crown on his head. He has exceptional strength and he's absolutely ruthless. Physically, the Goliath is depicted as an imposing figure with an immense build. He is typically portrayed as an extremely tall and heavily muscled bear faunus. So with his size attributed to both his natural physique and his physical training, motherfucker is an imposing figure. Like, he's like, if you've ever gone to the KFC and you've seen the big guy in the corner, that's him. But he's like massive, okay? This guy is huge. His imposing presence, though, is often enhanced by his signature robes, which contrast with his golden crown on his head and menacing expression. Despite his large frame, Goliath possesses a surprising agility and speed, making him a formidable opponent in combat. He's also a master of hand-to-hand combat, skilled in a variety of martial arts styles. Goliath's fighting style emphasizes brute force and overwhelming power, allowing him to overpower his opponents with sheer strength and precision. Okay.
Darth Vader.
And what truly sets him apart, however, is his unparalleled intellect and strategic mind, okay? He is a master manipulator and a shrewd tactician, excelling in the art of behind-the-scenes manipulation. and long-term planning. Goliath is not afraid to get his hands dirty, but he often prefers to work through the vast criminal network of influential connections to achieve his goals. And as a crime lord, the Goliath exerts significant control over various criminal activities, including semblance trafficking, arms dealing, and organized crime syndicates. He is a powerful figure in the criminal underworld, and commanding respect and instilling fear among subordinates and rivals alike. So, with a triumphant smile, Goliath watches his goons secure Jade Rose as you almost see like shackles weighing her down as she's being pulled almost into like some sort of contraption, and she's almost held at bay in the center complex of the room where she's staring face down with the Goliath. The streak, as they call you, all tied up, ready to be delivered to the crown. You've caused quite a stir, meddling in our affairs. Goliath, you won't get away with this. We won't let you hand us over to the crown. Oh, my dear girl, you underestimate me. I don't intend to hand you over to the crown. No. I do have much more satisfying plan in mind first. He motions over to his goons, who begin dragging captive team members deep into their lair. Deep in the corner, you see Agent Washington. The freelancers have been captured and thrown into these ridiculous cells. They were beaten. You see Cartelak almost like grasping at his confines. He's like, Jade, we'll get you out. We promise. They're all kind of struggling, but to no avail. They're mostly trapped within this confined. Hold up, let's get worse. Wash! Wash! And I also want... Where's the other one? Shadow! There she is. I love my sniper. You see them all locked away. And almost too late. But you see, deeper in the lair, toward a dimly lit chamber, there's a room filled with screens displaying surveillance footage, maps of various criminal operations. He has eyes and ears, like a brother eye, throughout all of Mistral. He says, "Welcome to my domain. This is where I orchestrate the flow of power and influence in Mistral's underworld. And you, in your little Team Jaeger, will be the centerpiece of my grand spectacle." She says, "What are you talking about?" You see, the crown may have had their ambitions, but I have my own plans for the city. Lil, you are coming up in a minute, okay?
I know. I'm just pulling my cover sheet.
No, I'm getting you prepared. Think about what you might want to do coming into this. You'll be which
character?
Either the one who just went into the sewer system to search for Jade, or anyone else that you have in mind introducing into the lair sequence here.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Amy, because I was gonna say Kuroko, but the wife's hanging right here, so it wouldn't make
Okay.
sense.
He says, "See, the crown may have their ambitions, but I have my own plans for the city. With you as leverage, I will send the message to the crown and every other faction in Mistral. No one will ever dare challenge me after this. But also keep her away. But before that, I have a proposition for you. Join me. Serve under my command, and I will spare your lives. Together, we can reshape Mistral in our image, and you'll have a place of power within my organization." Carter, from his cell, "We'll never join you, Goliath. We'll fight for injustice and protect the innocent, not to further the agendas of criminals like you." I wasn't speaking to you. You almost find a hidden. You've kind of discovered an underground passageway that you kind of stumbled upon. The deep. There's almost like a hidden entrance back under here. Hold up. Huh?
It's all like rock and like earth around us, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull. Here she is. So you're pretty much. You're almost like in this pit right here, below everything that's going on. You're like right in there. See where that light's at?
Is Jade on the ground or is she in the air?
She's being suspended from the ceiling by 4 different chains that have like bound her to like different points in the room.
Okay, I have an idea, but I don't know if this is gonna go, how this is gonna bode.
Okay.
So the thing about Amy is, while she does live and work in Atlas, she's never been one to be quite as loyal to Ironwood as people think. As a lot of the things she does bode well better for bandits and like groups alike. Because if you remember back in the Atlas Adventures, when we first met her, she was working with Night Raid.
Yeah.
So you kind of see and he obviously notices because it's right underneath him. He kind of notices plants kind of start sprouting out through the rocks underneath of his feet.
Okay.
And when he looks down, like right in front of him, he sees like a kind of like a vine that kind of like starts raising her up on a petal. It's like a little like a bright pink rose. And she's like, "Well, this isn't quite where I figured everyone would be. You've got Team Shadow, even. Huh. You're an interesting one. Didn't you know that?"
He chuckles lightly as he says, "Whoa, you brought yourself a little friend. But
now." She puts her hands up. She's like,
you feel everything stop for a moment. As almost you start to see the plant wither away. Almost like, you know how like Endgame, like things with dust?
Yeah.
You almost start to see it dust away.
You kind of see her, she's like, "You think I don't know exactly what happens to my own plants?" You see her jump onto like the, right like in front of like, on the where Jade is, like kind of right in between the two, the dudes and Jade, like in the middle of them. So I'm like, yeah, like right, so like right around, a little bit forward more. There you go, right there.
Okay.
She's like, "Listen, I'm not here to fight you. I'm here for a little negotiation. How about that?" You willing to go through negotiations?
Talk. You don't have much time.
See, you're looking for people to join you, am I correct? Or, well, what should I say, to help kind of further your agenda in a sense? Is that what I'm looking at here?
It's not exactly how I would put it. There is an order to things, and I'm keeping it flow.
Ah, so you're the one who's keeping Night Raid out of Mistral. That makes more sense, now that I think about it.
I have kept so much more from you. This city would not be standing if not for me.
Yes, it's how every criminal underworld god goes. They say this. It's not like this is my first rodeo. Look, all we can strike a deal. There's not too much. That can change, obviously, because you don't want chaos to ensue. But how about we try to figure this out?
Oh, I believe we have it plenty figured out. Because all I need is her.
Now, you kind of see her look back at Jade. She's like, "What exact reason do you need a child, I should ask?"
Well, finally someone who answers the questions that need to be answered. Well, I will tell you. everything. But if you insist on playing the hero, you will be ashamed to see such potential wasted.
Oh, I promise, I'm just curious. That's all I'm here for. I was initially told to come save this one, but...
Well, Miss Rose
I'm kind of curious.
has been one I've been waiting for a long time. She now holds the key to salvation.
And
You then see her blade gesture up to her hand as it powers on, and she uncouples her couplings and jumps down, thinking she got the jump on the bad guy. She jumps down. She's like, "This key?" And he's like, "Very well." But what you don't know about the sword is that it's not just any sword, young Jade, but it is a key. How ironic, isn't it? I want everyone to make a perception check before we continue.
Okay. Oh wait, I can do it on my phone. I'm so used to bringing it up on my computer.
I will roll for Jade.
That is a 21. I rolled 14.
17 plus. Okay. So, both you and Jade notice that he also bears silver eyes.
Oh, you're like me. That's interesting. You kind of see her because she covered her hair back up when she took the child Raven. She covered her eye back up. You kind of see her like, kind of like push her hair out of her face. She's like, "You're like me. You're interesting."
Wait. Are you saying we're all silver eyes? That's
silver
right.
eyes aren't a common trait, especially to have both of them.
You see, I've been the very thing that has protected our kind for a long, long time. You see, the princess hunts you. But do you know why?
Me or her?
Pointing at her, Miss Rose.
Okay.
Do you know why, Miss Rose? It's because you are the key to all of this. You, well, she made you after all.
That's something that piqued my interest.
You, what? That's right. You see, your mother made a deal with the devil a long time ago. And she suffered a fate far worse than others. Lucky for me, I've managed to change fate for everyone. I've kept the tide and pace of balance. Do you understand? You're saying this princess, she made me? Trying to create the ultimate weapon. A silver-eyed, but a grim silver eye. A new being altogether. But instead, you came along. An anomaly. You see, everything around you has changed since you've entered Mistral. The world itself has altered the course of reality based on one singular construct. You. I'm not real? Oh, you're real, but you're not meant to be here. Not in this time, anyway. You almost see her kind of like, she doesn't know if she believes any of this. He says,
Now, I'm kind of curious about something. if she was made to, let's say, be a weapon by this princess or whatever she is, wouldn't you assume that she wouldn't be in a huntsman academy? Or that if she did something to her mother would have ended up selling her out in some. Because that's where I'm going to see this from. Because it's seemingly that if she wanted said weapon to be grimified, as you so command, wouldn't it be smart to have the mother grab the child and bring her with her?
You see, she was created under a new breed of circumstances. You see, she's not so much the daughter of Summer Rose as she is a clone, an offshoot, a new, a happy little creation by Mother Nature. But you were never meant to be Bronwyn's child. You were meant to be the daughter of the Grim Princess. But you changed your fate, and thus changed the fate of many things. You mean the canon? My canon? So that lightning bolt taught you something after all. This can't be right. I knew things were different this time around, but... Wait, how do I know that? You see, Jade is going through a complex set of emotions and memory flashes from times and events she's never lived before. She then looks up and shakes off. She says, "Look, just let my friends go and I'll give you whatever you want to ensure peace for everyone. You want peace, right? You're trying to do the right thing." "Yes, but first, you must bear witness to fate itself. And you will be my key to salvation." You see his power, the crown, activate. And you see almost like a border, almost like an impenetrable force of nature, a field, is negated from you doing anything but watching what comes next. He says...
Amy's kind of just watching, very interested, because she's curious.
Says, "Now I've been waiting a long time to unleash a demon that can undo the Grim Princess, so I can finally protect my family. Because for as long as I've known, she has held my family hostage. My silver-eyed brethren. And I will do whatever it takes to protect them, and the city, and these people. Even if I have to do dark things."
I'm kind of curious about something. And she's kind of like just sitting there. She's like, how do you 100% know that if you do this, she doesn't just get what she wants and then she can just turn on you the second she gets it? Because I've seen that happen more often than once. In my line of work, you've learned that when you make a deal, that deal can be betrayed in the snap of your fingers.
No deals. Only actions. And once I unleash a true god upon her, this universe will be free of Grim. And our world will be in harmony. Every time he stomps, the room shakes. Just like how it is now.
And he's kind of like, no world can ever truly be in harmony without a little bit of chaos. Without the Grim, there will just be people like you who, well, actually want to cause crimes and be kind of chaotic themselves. So if you really think about it, the Grim are more helpful than you think, because it's taking those people who have, let's say, murderous intents, and have them take their anger out on the Grim instead of people. Would you say that if you take out the Grim, those people just go back to hurting others? Would you call that harmony? Because I sure as hell wouldn't.
For as long as our world has turned, the Grim have only done nothing but set its sights on destroying all there is.
And
But
humans
I,
have
for
the same
one,
power.
it is true. What petty humans and faunas do with such power is not my doing, it is your own. I've done what it takes to protect our world, and now, you... He points to Jade, he says, "Fate let us meet as foes, but this ring will make us worthy of the gods." You almost see Jade slowly start to turn and start walking towards him. Almost like it's out of her control, as if she's not in control of herself.
Hey, Tony.
Yes.
How many people are in this room?
I would say there are plenty...
Not counting Team Shadow and me and Jade.
I don't think I put a whole lot of people in here, but there are quite a few different scary foes that aren't probably... I don't even have a whole lot of characters in here, but I'd say there's a decent amount of people in the room, kind of scattered about. Snipers, people in the shadows.
Because you know how technically there's dirt everywhere, if you think about it.
Underground, yes.
We're underground.
Especially in this sort of cave-like system, there's like dirt and shit like that, yeah.
I kind of want to use my semblance.
Let's make a semblance check. We'll do that one on screen.
I would say.
Let's do a semblance. 13.
So that is a 26, because I have a mine's a wisdom. I mean, my semblance counts off my charisma, because it's a charming, it's supposed to charm people.
Mm.
So, it's the pass, or, because she's not really going for the Goliath in a sense, she's just going for the normal people that are around her.
So what are you trying to do?
She's trying to charm everybody.
How
with
so?
The fact that so, part of her semblance is those pink roses she kind of that she spawns up.
Mm.
When anyone either within the area has their scent, they smell them, or they see them. Unless you have, which I'm not going to count the Goliath in this because he's very focused on one thing. So they, in a sense, will charm them into kind of listening to her.
Okay. So let's roll a perception check.
Okay. Do you want me to roll that?
Yeah, you can roll it. You can roll it.
12.
12. Okay. So, with a 12, you notice that around the room, your semblance taps in a little bit, and this is also going in conjunction with what your other roll was. So let me break it down for you. So, with the power of the Goliath's crown, he's using it he's essentially altering the course of events to prevent you from... It's essentially taking over your sense of will. But you are able to use your semblance to essentially get a feeling off of everybody in the room. And you notice that this power of the crown is being divided throughout most of the Goliath's members, as almost like everyone in this room who works for him is under some sort of spell to believe that they are loyal to him and that they work for him.
Oh, that's actually good. Okay. Amy kind of getting the sense that she can, so that's the other thing that can block out is someone else controlling them. Because that's what her semblance does. It charms people, like, those people technically also fall in love with her, because her mother, I based her one mother off Aphrodite, the goddess of love.
Mm-hmm.
So, part of her thing is that when the people who she charms fall in love with her. So the only way to block that is someone else controlling that person.
Right.
So she kind of realizes that her semblance isn't working. She's like, "Oh, I get it. These people don't actually work for you, do they?
They are a means to an end.
So you're just controlling people. If that's your idea of a means to an end, that's just wrong.
Goons are goons in any universe. They serve me
Yeah, but
out of
there's
stupid
a difference
will.
between holding them against their will to do what you want and having them basically die on like they don't want to, and having them willingly work for you. There's a difference. Don't you realize that?
Well, it is what it is, as they say. They serve me the way fate intended.
Is he looking my way? Or is he looking the other way?
As he turns away, he begins walking towards... You see, he almost joins Jade at the top of his monastery here, as Jade continues up the tower, and he takes him over to this machine. He says, "This technology we've built, incredible. But it wasn't all human. You see, this requires a special touch. Your sword, the key, made from the aliens. You see, long ago, a prophecy foretold of the Sword of Swords, an ancient alien technology left behind by an old species. And well, you have unlocked the prophecy, only it wasn't your place to do so. So now you will be responsible for helping me. Go. The sword will activate the machine on contact, and all will be fulfilled. You will be fulfilled." As she walks up to the device, she sees the cosmic treadmill being powered by almost like a super collider. But she sees that there's something almost like a blur powering the machine, as looks like it's been running for some time. Jade, for a moment, has connectivity to her speed, as she's able to slow down time for but a mere second to see on the machine running is Misha. Misha has been trapped, running on the cosmic treadmill, forced to power it for his own inferior means.
Tony.
And there's an ancient monastery here that almost has like an alien sort of like, almost like an alien like an alien obelisk, and her sword reacts to it upon walking up to it. And you almost see a little red, almost like a hologram. Let me see. Let's see if I can find something that will look like it.
Tony.
What's up?
The like little cell that Team Shadow is behind, what is it comprised of? Like, what are the bars made of?
Team Shadow?
Yeah, because aren't they like in like a cell?
So I didn't have anything to like make it look like it. I didn't even really have a cell over there, but it's mostly like it's a I don't know what they called it in the Flash, but in the Flash there was this this material that had semblance dampening, or like metahuman dampening capabilities, and it's essentially this material of like,
so
it's like a bar cell. It looks like a traditional bar cell, but the materials in the bar cell are dampening their semblances.
Is it still metal?
It's like it's almost like a steel, like a sort of ingot.
I'm sorry, I keep asking questions. Is it on top of like rocks, or is it just a metal box?
It's in like a cutout in the wall here.
So it's the bars are built into rocks, is what I'm saying.
It's built into this like it's almost like built into a small cave within the cave.
Okay.
But it's like it's a cave that has like no end. It's a dead end cave, but it's like barred up.
Well, yeah, I get that part.
Yeah, yeah.
But so I have a cantrip, which is one of my spells, that can mold the earth. So you said it's a rock. It's like kind of built into the rocks, right?
Yes.
So why Amy's gonna try to do it kind of like, because he's not looking at her, right?
No, he's focused on what Jade's got going on over here.
So she's gonna kind of try to slowly break apart the rock in that the bars are attached to try to open the bars. like with enough space for them to get out of it.
Okay. So let's make a semblance check, and this time we're gonna roll with advantage because he's not looking. That's gonna be a 10.
Did you roll twice for advantage?
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said that and then. Okay, so it's gonna be a 10 because the other one wasn't that one.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I might change that to be proficient. I'm gonna change it to be proficient because I'm realizing that I have a plus 13 to my semblance, and it's because I have a high charisma. So hold on, let me. So I'm assuming it's gonna be plus 9 when I change it. So a 19.
Okay, so your semblance begins to activate, and ever so slightly, you start to see the vines kind of appear, trying to slowly pry the cell open large enough for them to get through, but you almost start to see it's almost like as it starts to pull, it almost starts to get like almost like the vines start to get tired as they pull it apart, but not too far enough to where someone could squeeze through. Someone maybe smaller than Locke.
It's getting there, right?
Yeah, it's getting there to a point, but with someone like with people with their kind of armor, they wouldn't be able to fit through, but someone like Jade would probably be able to fit through.
Okay.
You then see, cutting back over to Jade, you see almost like an alien hologram appear on the monastery, and you hear it say,
"Who are you?"
I'm Jade.
And are you a true warrior?
Always. A true warrior never stops running. I'm a warrior.
This is Jade's
I
stuff,
protect
right?
people. Yeah.
So can I run to the bathroom really quickly?
Go ahead.
Alright.
You see, Amisha stands among the construction of artificial speed force. She is forced onto the cosmic treadmill, running uncontrollably as fast as she can. And as the ancient sword activates the monastery, it is given its full capabilities. The machine powers on. As the speed generated from Misha's lightning, Misha's body starts almost pulsating as she is now creating a rift into the artificial speed force. Misha's body starts almost evaporating as dark matter explodes into the system and disintegrating her into the speed force. Hold on. Okay, you're back. Ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just explaining a little bit. So, I'll go back a little bit. As Misha stands among the construction of an artificial speed force, she is forced onto the cosmic treadmill where she is uncontrollably running as fast as she can, so that the machine generated enough energy to open a rift into the artificial speed force. Misha's body, almost like the particles of lightning start to peel off of her as her body starts to evaporate, as dark matter generated from the sword and the alien technology begins to explode into the system, disintegrating her into the speed force, almost as the ultimate sacrifice. As Misha is like almost being pulled into the speed force, Jade's like, no! As she is pulled in, and Misha is gone. As Misha's speed force energy is pulled into the speed force, all that's left of her is her burned up, tattered up leather jacket that Jade drops to her knees and picks up as she's holding. As tears begin to swell up,
Hey, Tony.
the portal almost starts to get darker. As essentially what had happened was Misha, the machine that Misha is powering, was missing one crucial element: the activation of an alien energy source powerful enough to create its own dark matter energy that would be enough that Misha could activate a portal into the artificial speed force. But in order to do that, she sacrificed herself.
I'm curious about something.
Yes.
Is the crown that the Goliath has on, is that what's controlling the people?
Yes.
What's it made of?
I can't really tell you that because it's.
Okay, I'll rephrase that. Is there a way to short circuit it?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
It's an ancient it's an ancient material from days prior to human race.
I'm just curious.
That's what I'll say.
I'm trying to figure stuff out, so I have stuff I can do.
You ready for this, though? As Jade stands there, almost shattered, her heart broken completely. The portal gets darker, as this isn't the end yet. You see, emerging from the portal, almost crawling out like a devilish being.
Multiverse of Madness.
Hello, Jade. Long time no see.
Amy's kind of just sitting there watching. She's kind of curious.
You see Adalon emerge from the Speed Force as he has been reborn due to the sacrifice of Misha. And now he is fully immersed in the physical world. She gets up almost like completely you can almost sense the fear rising in her, like she's almost in a full-blown panic as he emerges from the portal. And you can only feel nothing but anger within Jade. What's it called? He says, I have missed the world.
You think I didn't know what would happen? You didn't think I know Avery's stupid, idiotic plans? I am Avery. His memories are my memories. I've already lived them. I am always one step ahead. And now Mistral will be ruled by a god.
She says, you sick bastard.
I hate you.
You see her eyes light up red as Jade gets furious. Her powers, despite her limitations, begin to get a little negative.
So, Tony.
Yes, Lo.
I have a spell that's not going to be damaging. I have a spell called Divination.
Okay.
So, I'll read you the first paragraph of it. Your magic and an offering put you in contact with a god or a god's servant. You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. The reply might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen.
Okay.
So, would asking you about this, like this stuff that's happening currently,
Okay.
would that class as within 7 days?
Like, from when?
From the time I able to ask you the question, because it's basically in-game time. So she's basically, the way she sees it is she's asking a god what is going to happen, what's willed to happen within this time frame.
Okay, so so you're asking Adalon something?
Well, if you want to be that's the god she's asking, or if you want it to be she's asking a different god, it's up to you.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I'm trying to understand how it works. Like, who are you asking?
So, the way I'm basically asking you as in a different god that's not already in the world.
Okay.
So technically Adalon wouldn't count.
So it's like an out-of-character question or an in-character question?
It's gonna sound really dumb, but both, because it's basically asking you a question, and you can give me a reply, but it doesn't have to be like a full-length reply. The way it says your reply can be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. So you can reply with a short phrase.
Alright, so your question. You may ask it.
Is there a way to get Team Shadow or Jade out of here alive?
Definitely alive, but not unscathed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like I said,
I was gonna make that a riddle, but
even if you want to be honest, even if it didn't make sense, that would be that's the question I had asked. So.
Well, this is pretty much, so for context, this is pretty much what I had this would have been like, originally this would have, this would have originally happened with everybody, but I'm bringing it here and now, so then the others will end up rolling in here when this is happening.
So, when they show up, are they going to be bound, or is it going to be they're rolling up while fighting the White Fang?
They're going to fight, I think what's going to happen is we're going to go through that fight, and then they're gonna make their way here, and then that's what's gonna lead into
they're
this.
They're gonna fight the White Fang, then get them here, right?
Yeah.
So would it make sense? Obviously, not now, but like, would you consider them to be here by the end of the session, technically?
Yes.
So if I were to, by the end of the session, find a way to break Team Shadow out of that cell, would that be allowed?
Yeah.
Okay. Because. So I'm a druid, so I made her a druid because she's her whole semblance is plant-based. So I have a lot of stuff that concerns the earth, nature, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have a spell called Erupting Earth.
Ooh.
Naturally, it's a damaging spell.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try to use it not damaging, but I'm gonna wait a little bit until the point where they would show up.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so, as this happens, you see Jade getting angrier and angrier until she breaks. And suddenly, the room goes completely quiet. And for my last act, you see the Goliath walk to the back of the room. As he removes his crown and places it on the monastery.
Is the crown what was controlling everybody?
He altered what the crown did, and I'll answer this like both out of character and sort of like in a way your character can interpret it.
Yeah.
Is that he altered fate itself. Is exactly what the crown is. It's meant to mimic those abilities of the original crown, which Glacia has the original crown, like the actual relic itself.
Yeah.
Because all this time, the relic of fate, or the relic of choice, I should say, has been locked away in Mistral all this time, concealed behind a secret wall, guarded by a dragon. But since that location has been obviously discovered and probably not safe anymore, Glacia now holds on to literally the beacon relic.
So what exactly is controlling everybody?
So right now, their own free will, because to them, they believe that they are loyal to him, just because they have essentially like implanted memories of this guy and working with him and having a long running history with him, so they trust him very well.
So are they not under magic control?
It's not a magic control, no, I would say.
So, I'm trying to think. Because I'm trying to find, like... Because in theory, if they're not magically controlled, my semblance could work, but I don't know how you're labeling their not really free... Like, their free will. Is it because they just have implanted memories? Is that the only reason that they're doing it?
They, like I said, they have been they've been like this for a pretty long time, so at this point, their minds have kind of been in this solidified state of, like, this is what they've always known, like, they've known nothing else. Like, a lot of them kind of were groomed into this, they were born through this, they just have always operated with him, the Kingpin, the Crown, the Goliath. You know. So
they're still technically under they're under their own free will right now.
Yes, this is pretty like everything that did control them. Like you know that the crown had a connection to them that directly altered their state of being. Like he talks about Jade altering the canon when he altered their canons. You know.
So he's being a hypocrite.
Essentially,
a hypocrite.
little bit.
I'm just asking because In theory, if they're not under a magic, like a spell, like a magic controlling them, or like another person's semblance influencing them, my semblance would work on them.
Yeah.
Because the caveat to her charm is if they're either controlled by someone else, like if they're under control, like when I say under control, like someone else is charming them, or there's something magical controlling them, it wouldn't work. But if they're all doing this over her free will, I could, in theory, roll a semblance check to try to charm everybody.
Yeah.
Would you allow me to do that?
You can make the attempt, of course.
So do you want to roll that one on screen? I'll let you do that.
Yes. Well, let's roll that on screen.
I also want to mention I took my expertise away because I had a plus 13 to my semblance, so I changed it.
All right. So.
What is it? 11.
Yes. Under. All right. So before hold on. Before we go with that real quick, I'm thinking because of the amount of times you've tried to use your semblance under the circumstances of the crown affecting you, I would say roll with disadvantage.
That's fine.
So let's try. Wow. 3.
So 12.
Okay. Now you're trying to charm them, correct?
I'm trying to. So what it is we're underground, so there's dirt everywhere. Correct?
Yes.
So, in theory, how you said the room's filled with people, and technically, right?
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?
You said the room. It might not look like it on screen because you didn't have enough time to put everybody in, but there's more than just those few people in front of you, right?
Like I'll put some temp. I'll try and fill up the room how I imagine.
It is the lower the roll, the less people she controls. So like if there's say 20 people in the room, she rolled a 12, so she would control maybe 2 at most. Yeah. Would that make sense?
Okay. So what I would say is the 2 closest individuals towards you are gonna feel the most effect of your of a bit of charming. So I'm gonna say that there's an individual not far to your right, standing next to a wizard-looking dude. This guy right here. He kind of looks over at you, and he's like, he almost like has this feeling of like a sudden lapse in judgment, like he's falling in love.
She kind of like cocks her head. She does a little bit of her own like kind of flirty body language. She kind of looks at him. She kind of like cocks her head to the side, like winks at him a little bit, and she's like, you're adorable. You're really cute.
You then look over at the dog standing next to him, and you notice your second charm has landed on the dog. And you're just like,
She kind of looks. She looks at the dude that the human she charmed. She's like, so, everyone on top where the Goliath is all engaged in either conversation or fighting, correct?
They're engaged with Jade right now, yes. So they're not focused on you at all. He's under the impression that you are like completely bound by his spell of the crown.
Amy kind of like walks up to the dude she charmed and like puts her hand under his chin. She's like, I need you to do me a quick little favor.
I don't know.
For me, right?
I mean, he'll kill me if I. He'll kill me. He'll kill me, bro. No, straight up, he will eat my ass. Well, not like eat my ass, but he'll like eat my ass.
She's like, I 100% promise you, you'll be fine. All I need you to do is go over to the cell and open it. You could do that for me, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just, hey, I lost my, it's my lunch break. Can I go get my lunch? You freaking get right now? He's literally, he's up, fucking dickhead's up there right now. I know that, but like, I'm hungry. Motherfucker. I swear to God, if you get me killed again.
If you get me killed again.
I'll just be real quick. Hurry the fuck up. And he slowly kind of wanders off, and He kind of, I'm gonna roll him into stealth. See if he passes. That's an 18, so he definitely passes. So he kind of sneaks behind enemy lines and starts making his way over to the jail cell. And, he has one dilemma. There are a set of keys that can be used on the gate, but he does not have them.
She kind of looks over and she notices. She's like, I guess this is only gonna happen one way. Why do I listen? Why do people never understand? You kind of see her look at the wizard, and you kind of realize she kind of realizes she's like, so he's not the one. She's like, oh well, I guess this means I have to. So this is where she's gonna cast Erupting Earth on the kind of, you see like the area in between the cell and the pillars.
Yeah.
You kind of see her hold her hands out, and anyone within that area starts to kind of feel that like that area specifically in specific.
So like,
shake.
If I draw a circle like this.
So like, start from the middle of where the cell is. So like, from there, like about that. Like
So
about that
like
right
this.
circle. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
They kind of feel the ground start to shake, and if the wizard can see her, they kind of realize she closes her eyes for a minute. And she kind of chuckles. She's like, and then she opens her eyes.
Hey, what's so funny, dog? Like, what is so? Like, why are you fucking laughing?
She's like, oh, I just find it funny how gullible you people are. And you see her like close her right hand and yell, boom, and you see that area that you highlighted. There's a kind of, it starts shaking and explode.
Ooh. I don't have an explosion right now because I changed it for the different sound effect.
It's fine.
Boom. Explosion. And suddenly the left half of the room explodes. And you see the Goliath kind of just look up and notice, and you see a bright smile appear on his face, and he says, "Showtime." I'm gonna cut over to Jade really quick.
That's fine.
And we're gonna bring this into the closure of tonight. Ready, Lil? Are you ready for this shit?
I am.
Alright. One sec. As you see, as the room explodes, you almost start... The explosion kind of fumbles the room, but on this side of the room, you start to see almost like a red energy start to overcome the area, as almost like red lightning is like casting its way through the building. Hang on. Through this room. So, and you almost start to see Jade's lightning, like her crack of dawn, her summon of dawn. It begins casting down upon her, changing her, evolving her, turning her into something new.
Raven didn't tell me about this.
You see Jade starts to change. This time, it's her choice. This time, she's angry enough to be who she is, but this time she's changing the way she's doing this. She's embracing the negative speed force, not by fear or anger, but by choice. To embrace her anger, but in a way that she's able to utilize it for good. She's angry. She stares down against Adelon.
No matter how fast you may be, Adelon, I won't let you escape. Well, Jade. It seems you've decided to play my game. You might be fast, but I won't let you have your way with Remnant. Without warning, Jade charges forward at top speed, almost grazing.
You're still in deep push.
Oh.
You start to see he's evil.
Without warning, Jade sprints across the roof. They speed off in an epic chase. The speedsters are now in a full-blown fight across all of Mistral. They've sped out of the cave through the crystal wall that Jade blasted through originally. As she sprints through the rooftops.
Like dodges back, she's like, that was interesting. Alright then.
Yeah, right?
She's like, She's like, you're gonna have to get this fixed, right? Like, if you plan on keep using this, you're gonna have to get a lot of this stuff fixed.
You then see him crack his knuckles as he prepares himself for a fight.
She kind of sighs. She's like, I'm not this kind of fighter. I'm your negotiator. Hey, Locke. Hey, guys.
Oh, then by the way, you then see lined up behind you. Then maybe we can help. And you see Team Freelancers behind you, ready for glorious salvation. Yeah, your idiot finally found the keys. Sorry.
It's fine. Why do I sometimes charm the dumbest people? You notice that, so, her weapon is one of her own, made from her own kind of metal that she made. You kind of see her pull out a sword that's like a bright, really like, it looks like the same pink that matches her roses.
Mm-hmm.
But in kind of like, you know how nth metal like glow, like is really shiny of that color?
Yeah.
Like, have you played Injustice 2 with the nth metal shaders?
What game is it?
Injustice 2.
Oh, yeah,
you know, like,
yeah.
You have the nth metal shaders, like how like they kind of shine whatever color they are.
Yeah, I remember.
That's kind of what her sword does, and you kind of notice it's like a really bright pink, and it looks like it's like a pure ass metal that is gonna be hard to break.
Nice.
So, when she first started making her weapon, she figured out a way to use her plants and her semblance to create metal.
That's cool.
And anyone struck by her sword gets charmed.
Nice. Charm sword. Nice. So, at this point, all the gloves are off. The Goliath got what he wanted. He wanted this exact reaction. The creation of Reverse Jade. And the rebirth of Attilan. For he has the god that he will use against the Grim Princess. Now, cutting back really quick for the final ending before next week, or technically tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We cut in Jade sprinting across the rooftops of Mistral, the rain washing away her footsteps. Attilan materializes beside her, his movements barely detectable. The air crackles with their combined speed, creating gusts of wind that kind of buffet around the surroundings. You see, as the battle throughout Mistral rages, all of the other druggy speedsters that have been kind of parading around the city, you see that Attilan absorbs all of their speed, stealing it all into his own, and their combined speed creating, well, the one true Attilan. Jade attempts a roundhouse kick, but Attilan effortlessly sidesteps, placing a swift counterpunch to Jade's abdomen. She recoils, wincing in pain. Her umbrella, or her aura flickering.
I would say, yeah, Neo.
I don't know why I almost said Emerald, and I was like, I was just thinking, I almost said that, and then I thought about her when I almost said it. Jade forces herself.
There's some stuff I want to talk to you about once we're done this session, because I did stuff I want to kind of have.
Got you. So Jade forces herself back to her feet, determination restoring her resolve. You won't stop me, Attilan. Jade takes off again, zigzagging through the streets of Remnant, narrowly avoiding cars and people. Attilan's footsteps thunder behind her, almost like as Jade kind of tries to zip around everything, Attilan's just going right through everything, pushing cars and people, debris out of the way, and she tries to go in areas where those people aren't, but there's just so much chaos and so much battling going on, it's hard to avoid any kind of obstacles of people. But she pushes herself harder to her limits, her speed enhancing even further. She ducks and weaves through maze-like machinery, each twist and turn a testament to her true agility. But suddenly, Attilan gains an upper hand. Appearing in front of Jade, he throws a punch at Jade with incredible speed, sending her tumbling backwards. Jade summoning her last bit of strength, she regains her footing, cleanses her fist, and her aura almost glows this purpley red, and then it grows darker and more red as her anger is fueled by her sort of willpower. She screams,
Enough!
With renewed determination, Jade propels herself forward, her speed matching, and then surpassing Adelon's. She lands a fury of blows, but each strike echoing with thunderous cracks. Adelon stumbles backwards, momentarily dazed, recognizing an opening. Jade unleashes her ultimate technique, Whirlwind Barrage, and she starts spinning around him, creating like almost like a tornado, a whirlpool, if you will. She spins around like a whirlwind, creating an unstoppable vortex, and Adelon is enveloped by the ferocious cyclone, helpless against Jade's relentless assault. His strength wanes as he struggles for breath. Finally, Jade delivers a well-deserved punch right to his underbelly. But he saw this coming. He knew that Jade would do something reckless. She thinks she's won as she punches down what looks to be Adelon himself, but it's really a clone. She says,
It's over, Adelon. I will bring your reign to an end and use your speed for good.
Shimmering with determination, he stands ready at one end. Adelon, an imposing figure excluding raw energy and power, stand at the opposite end as his shadow clone disappears and reemerges with him. He says,
Jade, you underestimate the power bestowed upon me as the god of time and the mirror master of the mirror dimension. I won't give up.
And they speed at one another once more. And scene. We cut to black at
Fade to black.
At a cliffhanger of who will win, Jade or Adelon. Who knows? Well, this has been an interesting session of Jaeger this week.
Fun though.
And tomorrow we'll get even more chaos in the buffoonery.
Hopefully we actually can get to this point tomorrow without...
Yes, I'm going to do some more preparations to make sure that we have a smoother session with less confusing supposedly my riddle, I speak in riddles. I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got you. No, you're fine.
Apparently I do. So less riddles, more plot, I guess.
Less riddles, more plot.
You know.
All right.
Less riddles, more plot. That's all I gotta say. Lil, thank you for joining me this week on Jaeger. It's been a great time. And we'll end this session off on a high note, as things have gone crazy. But there's hope for our heroes. The Adelon, the god of time, the mirror master of the mirror dimension, Adelon himself has been released into the world. And it's up to Team Jaeger to stop him once and for all. And prevent calamity in our universe. We learned a lot this session, but tonight, tomorrow night, will be the night Team Jaeger emerges either victorious or defeated. Loser or foe. Did I sum that up pretty good?
Yeah, you kind of did actually.
Nice. Alright. Well, thank you for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow night, pal. Tomorrow,
Later.
be prepared to kill some stuff and to blow some stuff up and to do some really freaking cool stuff, okay? I want you to do the coolest stuff you can think of.
Well, I mean, I already did a lot of cool things in just this one little mini session.
Oh, yeah.
I quite literally caused an explosion of the earth.
Right?
The ground. Like I said, dude, I had such plans for being a druid, and I'm so glad I finally get to put it into play.
Hell
put
yeah.
it into fucking, into gameplay.
Love it. Well, on that note, we'll get to do more crazy stuff next time on Artemis Jaeger Chronicles the 3rd. Oh, Lil, sayonara, old pal. I'll see you on the Death Star.
Wow.
Bye. Have a great time.
Later.
It's 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I noticed.
Good night.
Good night.